Imagine walking into Congress today and asking for $7 million of taxpayer money to buy a frozen wasteland where nobody lives. You would probably be laughed out of the room, right? Well, in 1867, that is exactly what Secretary of State William Seward did. He bought Alaska, and at the time, almost everyone in America thought he had completely lost his mind. This is the true story of how the biggest so-called mistake in American history turned into its greatest jackpot. To understand why this happened, we first have to look at Russia. In the mid-19th century, the Russian Empire controlled Alaska, but they had a major problem. Russia had just lost the Crimean War, and they were drowning in debt. They looked at their territory in Alaska and saw a headache. It was isolated, hard to defend, and practically impossible to supply. Even worse, Russia was terrified of their rival, Great Britain, who controlled Canada right next door. The Tsar feared that if another war broke out, Britain would just seize Alaska for free. So, Russia made a calculated decision. It was better to sell the land to an ally, the United States, than to lose it to an enemy. Enter William Seward. He saw an opportunity and signed the deal for $7.2 million. While Seward was celebrating, the American public was furious. The newspapers mocked him relentlessly. They called the deal Seward's Folly, Seward's Icebox, and even Walrussia, a joke about it being nothing but walruses and Russia. People couldn't believe the government spent millions on a giant frozen zoo. But Seward was looking at the math, not the snow. The deal worked out to roughly 2 cents per acre. Even for a block of ice, that price was dirt cheap. For a few decades, the critics seemed right. The land just sat there. But then, in the 1890s, everything changed. Gold was discovered. The Klondike Gold Rush began, and suddenly, that useless ice was pumping millions of dollars into the economy. Fast forward to the 20th century, and massive oil reserves were found at Prudhoe Bay. And during the Cold War, that useless land became a critical military advantage right on Russia's doorstep. In the end, the $7.2 million investment paid for itself hundreds of times over. It transformed the US into a global energy powerhouse and added a massive amount of territory to the map. So, the next time you hesitate to make a move because people think it's a bad idea, just remember William Seward. Sometimes the crowd is wrong, and the foolish choice is actually a stroke of genius. Thanks for watching. Do you think you would have supported this deal back in 1867? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from history.